All right, looks like we are live. Awesome. What is going on? Thank you guys for tuning in. Just get finished setting up here. All right, so the plan today, we are going to be looking at building out our set 6 deck lists that I at least want to get started with. I think there's definitely some interesting combinations, both new and old, that we can take a look at. First up, the one that I'm probably most excited to play, at least just casually, is going to be the Ruby Steel, like pirate challenging deck. I think there's some cool combinations with that new Mickey Mouse, where when you challenge, your pirate doesn't take any damage. Then I wanted to take a look at making a Stitch Rockstar deck. I think with the addition of, and I have it up here, with the addition of this new Simba card, it could be really interesting because if Simba is exerted, all those cards that come in with Stitch Rockstar will reset and have some safety from those rush characters or anything that's on the field currently that can't attack it. So I think that could be pretty cool. And I think pairing it with the new Moana card that moves everybody to a location could be really cool. After that, we'll take a look at the new Oswald. This is probably going to be one of the more competitive options we look at today. I think there's some really cool combinations coming with this card in particular, being able to get out your items for free. And then just one last deck that I want to try and fit in. If we don't get to it, we'll save it for another live or another video. But I think in Amethyst, using Maleficent's Staff to benefit from anytime we play purple, or anytime that we get to use our bounce in a purple-green deck, we're going to be gaining lore for all those bouncing that are that we're doing to the opponent's side of the field. Hey David, you already have a list up and ready? Do you have it on Dreamborn? And let me know if the background music is too loud or if the mic's too loud. I am using a brand new mic. So we'll just check out this list that David's going to link here for us. And then we'll get started in building. I am going to be just testing out the initial, like, first 3-4 turns of the decks here on Inktable, just so we can make sure, like, do a sanity check, make sure we're not building anything that we can't really get going with. I haven't seen the link come through. All right, so while we wait on that, let's get started with the Ruby Steel. And at the core of this deck, like I said, probably going to be more on the, I wouldn't say casual side, but definitely requires certain matchups to work well into, because you need to be challenging all the time. But I really want to use this Mickey Mouse And he reads, whenever this character quests, chosen player character gets +2 strength and gains. This character takes no damage from challenges this turn. So for sure going to be doing 4 of those. We're going to find a Mickey Mouse in just a second to pair with them. But then I also want to use this Captain Hook. This is something that a viewer suggested in one of our comments, because whenever this Captain Hook banishes another character in a challenge, he gets to ready. So just like your Scar can do, I think there's a Raya that does this as well. But more importantly, Captain Hook is a pirate, so he's going to be able to do this and take no damage back. And he'll become a 7/4 when he's attacking into everything. So those 2 cards together, I think, are going to be really cool. You get the added benefit of, if your opponent does have a Peter Pan that has evasive, it won't have evasive anymore. So we'll see if that ever comes up. Maybe against Amethyst with like Peter Pan Shadow Finder. That could be something that you see. All right, so let's go ahead. We'll start with our 1-cost cards here. So for this Ruby deck, we want to be challenging and we want to be benefiting from that challenge. I do like Vitalosphere in the 1 slot, although you can't make use of it with just 1 ink. You are getting Rush because of it, but something that does the same exact thing would be Jolly Roger at the 1 cost. The big difference between the 2 is Jolly Roger doesn't give you the extra strength. It is cheaper and you can use it over and over again, but it is uninkable. But our pirates can move there for free. So let's throw in 4 copies of Jolly Roger for now. And then we need some characters. So let's just... Oh, and I just saw your email come through. Let me pull it up here. All right. So we've got Purple Seal mid-range. Using the new Diablo card. Nice. The new Calhoun. I've seen some proxy decks. If you're familiar with Lore Games, he's been practicing with this Calhoun. Very, very strong 2-cost card. Similar to Smee, where you get a really cheap 3-strength character on the field, but has the sub ability of like what your Shift Robin Hood would have had, where whenever she banishes something, she's going to get 2 lore, and she has resist. What else we have here? We have new Tinkerbell with evasive, questing for 2/1/3. Got your Pete's. Another new card here, Genie. 4-cost uninkable. When you play this character, draw a card. 2 lore uninkable. No, this looks good. I think, yeah, you're benefiting from the Elsa. This is something that this Elsa, anytime I try to play a green deck, this Elsa was just the death of me. It, you know, just takes out your Diablos, turns your big, your sad beasts. I think this is really cool. Here's what we'll do. I will save this just on my other screen. And then once we get my red deck finished, we'll actually export both of them to Inktable. And I'll use this to test against. But thank you for that. All right. Unfortunately, I don't think I can just do character on here, unfortunately. No, yeah, it looks insane. Like I said, there's a lot of things in purple that give green steel or green, or basically anything that you don't want your characters exerted for, like a ton of trouble. And that's actually something that burned me in set champs a couple times, is not anticipating the Elsa and then just getting like my beast has damage on it now, or my Diablo's gone. All right, but back to the Ruby Steel deck. For 1-drop, gotta go with the small Captain Hook. He's gonna have Pirate as well. Works really well with the Mickey Mouse. I also know that there is a Steel Mickey that has Resist that we want 4 copies of. Gives us a nice shift target for. In the 2 cost slot, this Wendy looks really good. She is uninkable, so I'm not sure if we can run 4 copies of her. We might keep it at 3 right now. We can also take a look at the locations here. Let's see. Flynn is something that's interesting because Flynn, we can keep him on the field. He doesn't really need to challenge, but we get benefit from having strong characters on the field, like this Hook, like this Mickey. Although I don't think he fits really well with what we're trying to do here. 2 things that do fit really well with what we're trying to do are the medallion weights and Snuggly Duckling. Medallion weights, it is pretty expensive because you do have to pay 2 and then also pay 2 and exert to use it. But every time that your character challenges another character this turn, you get to draw a card. So pairing very well with Captain Hook. And then our win condition really is getting Captain Hook to the Snuggly Duckling while the opponent has a lot of characters exerted, ready to challenge. He'll have 7 strength at that point, either with the medallion weights or with the Mickey Mouse questing. And then every time he takes somebody out, he's going to gain 3 lore for it. That gets us already halfway through the deck and 7 uninkable already, and we're only at the 2 cost slot. My wife plays a lot with this Lumiere. Very useful just to put down on the field, giving everybody else +1 strength. It can counteract things like the Sisu Ice Block, which is pretty fun because now, you know, something like your Mickey Mouse is not going to be a target at all for Madame Medusa because he's going to be a 5/4 at that point. But I don't know if I want to put him in here. I do like the idea of having a bunch of cheap characters because we don't have ramp in this deck. So maybe we'll throw in 4 of them for now. Let's go to Steel. Oh wait, before I go to Steel, we do need 4 copies of Queen of Hearts because Queen of Hearts is the other part of our draw engine. I'll just put that in right now. Queen of Hearts, whenever any of your characters challenge another character, you can draw a card. She's a 5 cost, but has shift 2. So very strong, very easy to get out, keeping with the theme of nice, cheap cards that want to attack things. What else? Let's go to those Steel characters here. I like the new Smee giving us evasive because I don't think we have evasive yet. We do have the Wendy to deal with things like Diablos. Excuse me. But the Smee has 3 attacks, so he actually can take out Diablo at a cove by himself, which is pretty nice. The Mr. Arrow here is a quick quester that you can get out pretty early with resist. If we have a Mickey Mouse out, he is a 3/2. That could be pretty good for a cheap pirate. Are there any other locations or anything we want to add? Obviously, we got to grab Mr. Smee. We have a couple captains in here. We've got Captain Hook. We've got Wendy. Oh, I was mistaken. Mr. Arrow is not a pirate. He is ally alien in pirate gear. So we'll take him out. But we have a couple captains. Mickey is a captain. Captain Hook obviously is a captain. The only other thing that I'd really think about adding in here would be like the Robin Hood combo. So we can do like just to have a lot of options for both drawing cards and attacking. He's got nothing to do with pirates, but he's just a really strong card overall. And we're already at 59 cards, and we only have 1s and 2s and 5 costs. So our curve is kind of all over the place, and we don't have a lot of cards or a lot of card draw here. So what do you guys think? What cards should we not be taking 4 of? Are there things in Ruby Steel that are just a must-have? Trying to keep it more like pirate themed if we can. Right now we have no way to deal with items, and we have some card draw, but our card draw does take a little bit to come online. Are there card draw that we had or item removal? There was a new pirate card. Where is he? I believe he's in steel. Yeah, Billy Bones. Billy Bones comes down. He's like your Benja, but he has the pirate tag. He's inkable. We can use him to get rid of items and locations when he gets banished. And that puts us at 63. So looking at the list now, ideally we would want another Mickey in here. So let's see what the different Mickey options are for this. I mean, I think the only other Mickey option really would be the standard bearer to give things Challenger +2. Although we already have things boosting our strength, so I don't think we really need that. Are there any forecast cards that we can take a look at here? We've got a 5/2 Kakamora, which if you play with the Mickey Mouse, you can make him immune on the turn that he comes in and attacks on, which is pretty cool. And he's a 7. He'll be a 7/2 at that point. That could be pretty cool. And that kind of replaces like a Maui in our deck. Let's see. Probably can drop the evasive Smee down to 2 or 3. We'll drop down Wendy. That puts us at 64. Let's go ahead and we'll save this as is. Let's see if I can throw the deck list here in the chat. Let's go. Let's export it. David, if you're still here, I'm going to export yours to Inktable as well. Where'd it go? There it is. Let's do P1, P2, and we'll go random. All right, so we're just testing the first couple turns just to see how this kind of feels. Let me switch up, put me on the other side here so you can see all my cards. All right, so for our mulligan, we do have medallion weights, which is great for our card draw. We have a turn 1 play in Smee or in Captain Hook and Robin Hood. We can get rid of items. It's a little cheating, but I know that there's no items in the deck. But I'd probably keep Billy Bones. And since we don't have the Rush Queen, I kind of want to get rid of that. And although this is like our main point of the deck is this Captain Hook, we will get rid of him as well. Cool, we draw into a Lumiere, get another Queen of Hearts. We get the Diablo down, which is fine. We'll go ahead and ink, probably ink the Robin Hood at this point, play the Captain Hook, and then turn 2, probably getting ooh, and we drew into the Robin Hood, so it kind of feels bad that we inked it. Resist 1 is kind of a pain. Let's ink the Queen of Hearts because we do have the item that can come down on turn 4 and we can start making use out of it. At this point, probably going to go ahead and get Smee onto the field. We'll let them draw a card off Diablo. Calhoun will take out Captain Hook, which is annoying. But then we can counter with Smee and get it off the board. Yeah, I loaded up your list, David, just to see, to bang my head against the wall and get destroyed by it. All right. Okay. I want to get medallion weights out. We don't need Lumiere at this point. And we already can attack with Smee. Probably gonna ink Snuggly Duckling. So on 4, we can do Lumiere plus medallion weights for Smee. And we'll just keep them here. So we want to do Lumiere plus Jolly Roger, and we'll just leave him standing up. Ooh, the big Tink shift. And there goes Jolly Roger. Nope. Sings Friends instead. So now we want to ink Billy Bones, play medallion weights, give medallion weights to Smee, and then we just go ahead and take out that Tinkerbell. We'll draw a card off of medallion weights. And yeah. So we have our draw engine online now, which is pretty nice. We also get our Mickey on this turn. Mickey becomes a 5. Mm. We do need to get rid of the library as well. I think I would rather have... Mickey out. We can move Mickey to Jolly Roger. Now he can challenge into Calhoun. He'll get killed by Calhoun next turn, but they'll take each other out. That's fine. Maybe we can even bait a challenge by questing Lumiere. Okay, so because they took out Lumiere, we now have pirates to do some Mickey shenanigans with here. So we can play like Billy Bones. Let's see. Yeah, we can play Billy Bones. We can quest with Mickey, giving his strength to Billy Bones. We can move Billy to the Jolly Roger for free. We can give him medallion weights, and then we can send him into Calhoun. And when he gets banished, we actually get to take out the library for free, which I totally remembered. We'll just pass. Yeah, we'll pass without inking. CPU brain is whack. We'll take out the library because Billy got taken out. So the only real problem I'm seeing right now is I don't have a good way to... just keep getting lore because we inked the Snuggly Duckling. We can get the Queen of Hearts out. We can ink that, get another Jolly Roger out. We just pass. Okay, I think that's probably enough for this game. I don't think I'd end up winning this game unless I drew into... I don't even know. Like, we can give medallion weights to Smee. He can attack into the evasive genie. But, like, I just don't have a way to get lore if I don't have that Snuggly Duckling. There's also like the 3-cost Shere Khan that could help. Here I am. I said I was done, and I'm still throwing cards in. So there's the Snuggly Duckling. Maybe we do play this out. We can take this a little bit longer, and I apologize for that. Because now what we can do is we can Snuggly Duckling Captain Hook, and if we get a Mickey or another Captain Mickey, Hook is immune. Thank you, Chicano Heat. Let's go ahead. Let's get these 2 cards out. Do I want to get both of them out? Because we do have another one. We could just give him Rush, give him medallion weights, and then he could take out Calhoun. We'll draw off of it. He'll ready himself, and then he takes out Merlin, and we get another one. So when it works, it's really fun. And if I have enough, if I have enough Mickeys that I draw into, so here's the problem now. if they don't have things exerted, it's going to be a real issue for us, because we can play Snuggly Duckling, we can play Captain Hook, and then we kind of just have to sit here. Because you need 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. We need 6 challenges with Hook to kind of come back here. All right. Let's quit on that. That purple steel deck clearly just wiped the floor with me. I think the biggest thing that I want to work on with this deck in the next week or two is just having more passive ways to get lore. Maybe we don't ink the Robin Hood. Maybe we also look, since we're attacking, we look into using this Calhoun in the 2 spot instead of like Lumiere. That way we can just get like passive lore on the board, because we were like turn 8-9 against the CPU and we still had 3 lore, which is not ideal. Let's save that, and then we could start again. Clear this out. We'll update this. We'll switch back over here. Now I want to talk about Ruby Amber. And my mindset for this deck is I want to make Stitch Rockstar a thing again. Not only is it one of our favorite characters in Disney, but one of the best card designs of the game, like art-wise. And the downside of Stitch Rockstar is when things are coming into play, they're exerted. But there's a new Simba card, and we already run Simba for Pride Lance. But this Simba, if he's exerted at the end of our turn, you get to ready all of your characters. So if we play 5 characters with Stitch and they're all exerted, but we do have the Simba in play, now they're all ready for the next turn. And really only board wipe is taking us out at that point. So like big things like Sisu. What do you consider a good replacement for 5-drop Ruby Maui? Billy Bones and Vitalosphere. So with Billy Bones, I was talking about that a little bit. He's great if you can guarantee that he gets banished, because not only are you getting a similar strength attacker, but you're also banishing an item or location. I think items are going to be huge in this set. So without ways to take out items, you're going to be behind. So he's a 2/2. And with Vitalosphere, he becomes a 4/2 with Rush. And you need another ink. Well, it's a 5 ink total package for him. And he does 4/2 damage, but he takes out a location or item. I think it's a good replacement. I think this Maui is going to be really strong, although he's not going to have Rush to come into the field. What else do we have for 5? You could do the old Teeth and Ambitions combo where you do Scar plus, or Teeth and Ambitions on this Scar plus, who is it? Prince Eric? And you just take out the Prince Eric and you just banish any non-ward character, which is a pretty good. So you deal 2 damage to an enemy and you get to banish another character because Prince Eric will be taken out when the Scar comes in. That's a cool like 4 or 5 combo there. It's not rush, so if you need like a location, you might be a little SOL. But you can also combo that with Billy, because Billy has 2 willpower. So you can do Scar plus Billy, and then that's taking out a location for you. And you get that Scar in the field. That could be cool. I don't know. I'm just excited to get my hands on the card so we can actually start putting into decks and playing around with it. But where were we? We were looking at the Simba card. So Simba, when he's exerted at the end of the turn, everybody readies. So fixing one of the major problems that Stitch Rockstar, in my opinion, has. And then since we're running Pride Lands, we're just going to load up on Simba's and Stitches. Make sure they're all 1s and 2s. Yeah, we can do the rush one too. Why not? And then we want Pride Lands. So that leaves us with 20 more cards to figure out. There's a new Ruby action. What is it called? Where is it? Islands I pulled from the sea. Search your deck for a location card, reveal it to all players, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. I think that'll be really good in this version of a Pride Lands, because we really need Pride Lands to make the deck work. What was... You could also like record player Stitch, so he could sing that and grab your Pride Lands card, and it's inkable early in the game. What else? Though the other big part of this deck is the new Moana cards. So Moana, when she comes in, she has a 1-drop, which is awesome, but she also has the new Moana. When you play her, shift 5. You may move any number of your characters to the same location for free. Gain 1 lore for each character you move this way. So if we have all those characters from Stitch Rockstar, and we can get a Moana out, maybe on the next turn, because they're not attackable, because they're all readied from Simba, we basically just win game unless they take out Pride Lands. And then you can, something that's kind of mean is you can combo Moana with Hey Hey. Hey Hey might be one of the cards you get with Stitch Rockstar. But whenever he moves to a location, he loses a lore. So if you have 2 of these, 3 of these out on the field, you just get that free lore swing of them minus how many Hey Heys you have, you plus how many Hey Heys you have. That would put us at 60. I also like Voyage because getting these Simbas to Pride Lands early in the game is a little rough. And I do like running some copies of Zero to Hero, especially if we need to get this Moana out and we have just gone wide with Stitch Rockstar. That could be useful. The big thing that we're lacking here is card draw. So basically if we don't get Stitch Rockstar, we have no way to draw cards. Yeah, whatever. This is going to be Stitch, Rockstar, Simba, and Moana. I'll put that in the chat as well if you guys wanted to take a look at it on your end. Let's give it a shot. I think there are ways to draw cards in Amber, as we know. You've got the new Sugar Rush Speedway, which it's very expensive to move. You can't see it there, but it's 6 to move. But you get 3 cards and 3 lore for it. I'll put it up against your list, don't worry. How else are we going to draw cards? Rapunzel is a classic to draw cards in Amber. Fix It Felix is a 2-cost card. It gets us card draw. Hopefully we have the Pride Lands out already. But that puts us at 67, which is a little bit too much for my liking. 27 uninkables, which is a big no-no. So let's drop some of these. Get us down to 64. Probably don't need, let's see, we have 1, 2, 3 stitches and 1, 2, 3, 4 Simbas. So I guess I probably don't need the 1-drop Simba then. We're still at 20 uninkables. But most of our deck is 1s and 2s, so it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We'll just save that. Let's see how it plays. Let's see. Go up against the purple steel deck here. We'll move to the side. And in the mulligan, we get no locations. We get Moanas, we get Voyage, we get Fix It Felix, and Stitch. So I need a Simba, I need a Pride Lands, and Voyage doesn't do anything for us on turn 1, so we can get rid of it. Let's keep Stitch and Fix It Felix and see if we can grab some things we need. Cool. There is... So now we have Voyage, we've got Simba, we've got Pride Lands, and we have Fix It Felix, and we have 2 Stitches. I'm going to ink the Alien Dancer Stitch and just pass. Unfortunately, we do have a Islands Pulled from the Sea. Not going to really help us here. And this Moana is not going to get played for a long time, so we're going to ink her as well. Let's go ahead and we'll play the Pride Lands right off the rip. We'll get that lore next turn. And we can play our Simba as well. Okay. Stitch Record Player works with this Stitch. Let's get rid of the Fix It Felix. Let's go ahead and play. Do I want to do 2 characters with Voyage? I probably do. I'm just thinking of the math here. Let's just draw a card. And then it actually pays off because we get a small Stitch. And then we get pass. Hey, G-Man. We are just messing around with some of the new decks that I'm looking to build in the next set. And now I wish I didn't get rid of that Moana. But what we can do here now is we're going to ink the Moana. We will play the Simba. We will play the Voyage to move Simba and Stitch to Pride Lands. And now we can play the Rush Stitch. Not that it's going to help us. Next turn we can play Record Player so that the Rush Stitch can sing islands, grab another Pride Lands. We're getting that passive lore. We are just going to quest with these two. And then if we get a big Moana on turn 7, we just move everybody to the second. Purple Steel, the one that we are going up against here is very nasty as well. Okay, there's one piece, the Moana there, but they got rid of our other Stitch. We got a quest with that Simba for sure. We can play Moana for free. That is a 2/4 evasive. I mean, I think I just want to play islands, grab a Pride Lands, ink a Record Player, and just play it. And we just quest and put the pressure on. I like this version of, I've been playing around with doing a bunch of these. This is a bad example because we didn't get any of our showcase cards. We didn't get Stitch Rockstar. We didn't get the Shift Simba either. But because we have so many 1s and 2s and we have Pride Lands, we also have some aggression. And then purple just comes in and is able to counter all that in a single turn. Our only play is another islands here. Let's see. These two are evasive. I can't deal with those. Moana can't quest. Yeah, so the issue that I see right now is if one, probably shouldn't have inked those Moanas. But if I don't get Stitch, then the card draw is like non-existent here with the deck, which is sad. Purple decks are fine. It's just there's so many different options that they have. All right, so here comes another Simba. We can move him. So now he has a bunch of... Yeah, we don't win on the next turn. The only way we win here is if they don't take out Pride Lands and we... If they don't take out Pride Lands and we get a shift, although they have 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. They actually have game on the board. So yeah, I think if we get some card draw, let's go ahead. I do want to give this another shot and see if we can get the Stitch Rockstar. G-Man, you don't like just waiting around for 10 minutes between turns? All right. So now this hand looks really good for what we want to do. We've got Simbas, we've got the big Simba, and we have the big Moana. We also have a way to go and get our Pride Lands. Get rid of the uninkable Simba, excuse me. And we'll just go off of that. And we get Voyage too. So we'll ink one of the big Moanas. we will play a Moana and we'll just pass. We're still missing the final piece of Exodia, and there he is. All right, so this will be a great test, because if we don't get the deck rolling with this hand, I don't think it's ever gonna work. But let's see. So, big issue here is we don't have ink. Our only ink is Voyage. So we're gonna have to pay to move Simba to Pridelands. Which, is that fine? I think that's fine. On 3 we go and get it. On 4 we play Stitch Rockstar, and then we start playing the Simbas. On 5 we Moana. Yeah. They don't have any cards on the field, so Rush is not really going to happen on 3. They get that Tinkerbell out. We get another Stitch Rockstar, so we can ink that one. All right. I think we need to go pull a Pridelands and then just pass. So on 4, we're going to Stitch Rockstar. Do we Stitch Rockstar? Or do we get Simba out? We can Simba Pridelands. Oh, man. This stinks, because I don't want to lose Moana either. So getting Simba out makes everything cost 1 less. So let's do that, I think. Let's go ahead. We will play Pridelands, play Simba, and then we'll just pass on that. They can Tinkerbell for 4, which they don't do. And then if they had a rabbit, they'd be able to do it. Elsa taking out Moana is not the worst thing in the world, because we aren't ready to play it anyway. All right, so now if we move Simba to Pridelands, we can ink the Moana because we aren't ready for it. And then we can play Stitch. And then we just pass. And then we just keep drawing cards until we get another Moana to win the game. Never mind. Steal is fun. Never mind. And there's another Pridelands. Okay. So that's unfortunate. We didn't actually get to see the combo because of the Along Came Zeus. We get another Stitch here. We can play everything. Right? We can move our bodyguard to Pridelands. We can play Stitch for 1. Stitch can go into Smee. And then we can quest. think we just get beaten over time with this. All right, yeah, let's move on to Oswald. One of the decks I think is going to be really good in this next set. I think I still need to work a lot on this deck in particular, because without the perfect hand, the card draw in the early game is just, it's just not there. Yep. All right. Let's go back to deck builder, clear out our filters. We'll clear out the deck list. Now we're going with the Oswald Blue Steel. Oswald, during your turn, whenever a card is put in your inkwell, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's an item card, you can play that card for free. It enters play exerted. No, you're all good. I would rather face good set 6 decks, especially even against the CPU, because if the decks that we're trying to make can't compete with CPU brain, it's going to be 0-20 on Pixelborn. But otherwise, put it to the bottom of your deck. So the goal here is a bunch of Oswald. We're going to go and just grab the traditional item package for Blue Steel. So 2 Lucky Dime. We might go with 3 here. Popsicle, Fishbone, Fortisphere. God, my voice is going. Hold on. Excuse me. We can do Carpet Bag, because I think that goes with Oswald very good. And then what else? That's 15 items. Maurice's Workshop for extra card draw. All right. Other new cards that I think are really good in this deck. There's the 4-drop Yokai. Where is he? Where is he? 4. There he is. Whenever this character quests, you can return one of your items to your hand, and you pay 2 less ink for the next item you play this turn, meaning we can bring our popsicles from the field back to our hand. We can play Fishbone for 1. You can play popsicles and Fortispheres for free, meaning we might actually not even need Hiram if we can get this quest mechanic working. And he's a 3/3, so although he does have less willpower versus Hiram, he will be a little bit less susceptible to like your small Sisus, your brawls, etc. What else? You could look at this Aurora to protect your items and to basically use items that don't even have the exert text on them, so that we can guarantee, or we can look at our next card, and if it's an item, we can keep it on top for Oswald, and if it's not, we can put it to the bottom. What else do we have? There's the new Alice card. Whenever she quests, not only does she give a character of yours +1 lore, but she also gives them ward until the next turn. So that protects your Bell, Strange but Special. That protects your Tamatoas from coming off the field. Speaking of Bell, let's grab her as well. Uh, gotta go and get Tamatoa. 4 copies. What else for card draw? You can go with Chicha, because Chicha helps a lot with card draw. But I think we need actions, because we're gonna need removal. Hideaway is great in a meta with a lot of items and locations. There's this new one, Prepare Your Bot, where you just get to ready a chosen item. Vision of the Future, you go 5 deep. Thank you, David. That's a must-have. There is Sail the Azurite Sea. You can put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell. And you get to draw a card. I like this Prepare Your Bot a lot. And what else do we need? I mean, this is just mono blue. You get rid of Fortisphere and it's just mono blue at this point. Which, you know what? We'll look at the steel part of it another time. Let's just go mono blue. Excuse me. Let's see. Yep. You can ink after drawing. It does need to be an inkable card, so it's not like a fishbone where you can get around the uninkable characteristic. Oh man, what else? Hero Hamada, search your deck for an item, reveal it to all players, put it on top. Gotta do that. That sounds pretty good with Oswald. Go and grab your dime literally at any time in the game. Let's see. Mono blue. Do we have inventors, right? You know what? Let's go 4 copies of Gadget as just like a different way to get a lot of lore onto a cheap character. And she's inkable. Because if you keep playing your popsicles, I think she's going to be able to reliably. It doesn't have to be inkable with Azurite Sea. The way that I read it, it's this turn you may put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down. So you might be right there, because it doesn't say like you may ink. What does Bell say? Bell says, so it's the same text as Bell, which is during your turn you may put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down. So I'm leaning towards it has to be inkable for Azurite Sea. All right, I know we were going to check out Blue Steel Oswald, but let's go have some fun with Mono Blue Oswald. And this might be the last one that we test out here. Tipo. Let's check out Tipo real quick. When you play this character, you may put a card from your hand in your inkwell face down and exerted. I don't know. That is a good question. What am I looking for? I'm looking for Fishbone. There it is. This says, so Fishbone says put any card from your hand into your inkwell, face down. Tipo says you may put a card. And then Azurite C says you may put an additional card. Let's go ahead. Let's post on. Pretty sure there is a rules area on the Lorcana TCG. No, that's not it. I will run it through the sim to see what happens. In my experience, though, there are some things that just don't work on Inktable yet. Like, there's this card. Where is it? There's this Sugar Rush Speedway. And when I was like just playing around and testing with this card, Inktable lets you exert something, and even if it kills it, it kind of like glitches out and keeps it on the board for you. All right, export Inktable. And we're gonna take out the purple deck here. What is your question? I had to go. So we're asking about, or we're debating on the wording of Sail the Azurite Sea. Because it says, this turn you may put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down. Does that card need to be Bell? Because you guys are right. Well, Bell says you can put an additional card from your hand into your inkwell face down as well. And I've never seen someone run Bell that is able to ink uninkables with her. Let's see if we get it here. For our first draws, we want to definitely keep Vision. We will keep the Fishbone. Probably don't need Hideaway. Gadget's fine. Although we're gonna play Fishbone on turn 3, so let's try and get some card draw here. There we go. We got a Popsicle, and we also have Sail the Azurite Sea, and we have an uninkable, so we could test it out when we, or at least however they programmed Inktable. We could test that out. So we'll start off. We can double ink with, or we can double Fishbone with Prepare Your Bot, which is pretty cool. So we'll get rid of Hideaway, just play a Popsicle, and we'll draw. Let's ink a, do we need 2 Visions? Possibly. Let's go ahead and ink the Prepare Your Bot. I could play Sail the Azurite Sea now, and we could figure out right now, but I don't think this is a good time to play it. I'd rather play Visions here. Visions, we get, oh, I want Lucky Dime because I want to play Lucky Dime, but we'll just grab another Sail the Azurite Sea. Put Lucky Dime on top. That's fine. I'll pass. And here, I wish we had our... Let's go ahead and... Let's Sail the Azurite Sea. According to ink table, we can't ink an uninkable. So I think we are correct on there. Aerial, as a quick way to close out the game, works very well. I want to ink. I don't think we need that. We could just go hyper ink here. All right. Ariel's good because we can, especially if we're protecting our items, you can get that lore nice and easy from her. All right, we want to... We don't have any exertable items, so we'll get rid of the Ready Your Bot. Let's Visions of the Future to see what we can pull. Ooh, there's a bell. Bell plus... We also have Hero Hamada for grabbing the Lucky Dime. Let's go... Where are the Oswalds? Man. Okay, so now we can... Oh no, that's not... Oh no, that's not what I wanted to do. It's her card ability. Exert. Let's start over here. I've messed it up. I've royally messed up here. Okay, so there's the yokai to play items for free. We've got Fishbone. We can get rid of... They look good. Probably get rid of Ready Your... Ready Your Bot's great for Fishbone. Especially since you can use it on the same turn you play Fishbone. All right, so let's do Ink Hideaway, play Popsicle, and we'll just pass. Two on the board. The problem with mono blue is we don't have any way to remove their characters, so could be pretty interesting here. All right. If we play Azurite Sea, that means we can get out a Popsicle as well as draw a card. So if we ink her, play Azurite Sea, we draw a card, we get the Oswald, which is perfect. We ink a... Oswald and Hero Hamada are a great combo. We'll ink the Visions, play the Popsicle, get another Ready Your Bot. All right, and now let's go fishing for some items here, I think. Let's play this. Let's fishbone and put a prepare your bot in your inkwell. Let's ink a fishbone. We'll play Oswald and then we'll pass. If I was the same rules as Bell, that's what I was thinking when I looked at the card. Okay, so now we can do we can ink. We send a Tamatoa to the bottom of the deck. Unfortunate. Let's put that here Hamada onto the field. We can ink a prepare your bot. Visions of the future to the bottom of the field. We'll play the yokai and we'll pass. What item should I grab with hero? So let's use hero. We need card draw, and yokai is going to help us with some card draw. We don't need lucky dime yet. We can get out a Maurice's workshop for a single lore or a single ink, or we can grab popsicles. Let's grab Maurice's workshop. We'll put that on top. We'll ink hideaway. It'll get played for free. We're gonna quest with yokai. We will return a popsicle. We will play it for free. We'll draw a card. We'll draw another card with Maurice. And now we can do it again with yokai. Next turn we have Tamatoa. If hero survives here, which against CPU we never know, we'll be able to get that lucky dime. But I do like this yokai as a way to like bounce these popsicles. Could be something, maybe even if you pair it with a hero as a way to get a lot more card draw into blue. Okay, so hero didn't stay, yokai didn't stay. That's fine. We get the lucky dime. So we can play that. We can draw a card. We can ink a hideaway. We can get another item in play. We can draw another card. We can... Next turn, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that'll be 14 because we can reset the lucky dime with prepare your bot. Let's just go ahead quest with Oswald. I don't think we need to worry about any more items for free. More so, I just need an inkable so I can get Tamatoa plus lucky dime this turn. Good thing we quested too, because a Tinkerbell came out. Ooh, and it's not inkable. Yikes. Neither of these are good choices. We could pop this on a enemy. We can play this, grab the popsicle, play the popsicle. We get a bell. We can ink the bell. We can fishbone Maurice. We can use Lucky Dime on Tamatoa. But are they going to win anyway? 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So if they have a goat, they win. They still have 4 ink, so they can just goat and win. Nope, it's a rabbit. So if they can't take out this Tamatoa, I think we actually have this somehow. Yep. So we can just Lucky Dime. And we can quest a Tamatoa and mono blue without taking out a single one of our purple steel characters that we were facing down the barrel, able to pull off a win. Oswald, I'll tell you what, Oswald plus Hero Hamada, very good. Being able to get an item, get a Lucky Dime whenever you need it, and play it for free, really good. But I think Hero needing to exert to use his ability makes it a little bit worse, because you really can't use it until turn 4. And at that point, Oswald's been on the field probably, well, so turn 4, you'd have 2 ink for Hero's ability, 2 ink for Oswald's ability. So that would still work later. I think the real, one of the best cards, I think, here is going to be Yokai, and just being able to pick up your popsicles and replay them. Same thing with your Fortispheres if you do blue steel. I can see this working really well with Ruby Sapphire as well, picking up cheap items like Ice Block, so now you can actually use Ice Block over and over again. Yeah, you could definitely find room for things like Ariel. I don't think you need Bell. I think you need way more card draw. And then, yeah, if you start limiting, if you start actually going back into blue steel, that's where you start looking at things like removal. Getting your like Cogsworths and friends online. But interesting that this is, I mean, I think this will be one of the Hiram belongs. I honestly, I think Yokai is gonna be a pretty good replacement for Hiram. He is weaker in terms of he gets taken out by a single Along Came Zeus. It's a lot easier for a Strength of the Raging Fire to be in his willpower range, but he quests for 2, and he lets you replay your popsicles over and over again, which, yeah, you get 1 less card, but he also isn't as bad into Ruby, because honestly he's not getting taken out by Ruby removal until the Madame Medusas come out, unless, and in a Ruby, like I was trying to say, in a Ruby Sapphire deck, you pair this with an Ice Block. You could just Ice Block, play it again, or even in this deck, you can Fishbone, use Fishbone's ability, bring it back to your hand. Now you play it for just a single ink that you got from using the Fishbone, and then you could Fishbone again in a single turn, which is kind of crazy. Bell with Hiram and have both for ultra card draw. Yeah, like you do the ramp trick with like Fishbone, and then you just throw a Hiram out and you draw cards off of it. All right, I don't think we're gonna have time to make it to a purple green bounce deck. I do want to spend some time looking into Maleficent's staff. I think if you're playing against purple, you're getting free lore anytime they bounce it, which is really cool. It's going to force them to have some way to deal with your items, because as far as I read this, it doesn't require it to be your turn. So on your opponent's turn, if they're doing those bounce shenanigans, you're getting lore from it. And then obviously pairing this with the the emerald, where are they? So many cards. Pairing it with like where's Kit? You guys know, like the Kit Cloud Kicker, the Bruno. I think pairing it with an Emerald Chromacon to make it so, like, let's say you were playing like an aggro version of it. You just load up your deck, and now anytime your opponent challenges into you, not only are they having to pull that card back to their hand, but you're also getting a lore for it, which is just really annoying when you go wide, because it's not even when your cards are banished in a challenge, it's just when they're banished on your opponent's turn. So I think those two items together could be pretty nuts. But thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to do videos every Monday or Thursday, or like today, if I have been a little bit too busy with the family, not able to get a video out, try and do a live stream, even if it's just sitting here talking, looking at deck lists, or trying to come up with very early deck lists. Once the set comes out, we'll be playing a bunch on Pixelborn. Yeah, and I will catch you guys next time.